advise a wrap as the last resort if they won't do the sub to, Bill.
Yeah. Um, and I'll usually do the wrap with a contract for deed as a buyer because it's too hard to explain a regular all-inclusive trust deed or wraparound. Too hard to explain to them. So what I do is I say, if the seller goes, well, I don't trust, if you don't make the payments, then I don't have no recourse, and I can't get the house back. I said, listen, how about we do it like, and I call it an agreement for title. And I said, well, how does that work? You ever bought a car with bank financing? And they go, yeah. I said, well, who holds on to the title? Well, the bank does. I said, and then you pay it off, and what do you get? You get the title. So we'll do it exactly like that. We'll sign an agreement that says, I'm going to pay, the payments, and when I pay it, you give me the title. The title stays in your name in the meantime. Now, there's a little more to it than that. I'm going to have them sign a deed up front, and we put it in an escrow with an escrow agent. That way, if they disappear or, anything happens, then we got the deed in escrow. And a couple of other, like, I'm not going to pay it to them and hope they pay it to the bank. I'm going to pay it directly to the bank.
But I guess the point is, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Last resort.
The bottom line, that was a long-winded yes.
I like that agreement for title. See, that was worth the price of admission here.
If you say installment land contract, that's kind of hard to explain. Contract for deed is better, but I like agreement for title.
I like that. I'll make the payments just like your car loan. I think everybody will, the majority of people understand it.
Yeah, everybody gets the car thing, the car explanation.
I like that. It's weird, man. I'm telling you, that's why I like hanging out with people like you. It's all about the analogies and the wordplay.
Mm-hmm. That's how you explain it.
We got a super chat, Bill, real quick. I usually let people, if you want to do the question immediately, we'll do the super chat, but all other questions will wait to the end.
Okay.
The luxury car store wants to know, is the memorandum of contract enforceable, Bill? You got to know this. Did you do that stuff?
I've done it, not all the time, but I've done it many times where you record a memorandum of agreement. Are you talking about a memorandum of contract on a contract for deed or
no,
like a purchase contract?
Purchase and sale to prevent.
Yeah, I don't do it all the time, only when I get this like queasy feeling that the seller is going to screw me. And I had one situation where they were in foreclosure, and this was before they passed the law where you got to give them 3 or 4 days, 5 days of right to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
The husband was like, "Oh, come on, dear, let's do it. This sounds really good." They're just selling to me cash. And the wife was like, I'm not going to do that. I don't like this deal. I just knew she was going to be trouble. So I went down and recorded a memorandum of agreement. And I got a call about 2 days later from the woman saying, we don't want to do this deal anymore. And I'm like, usually I'd be like, all right, whatever, no big deal. But I said, just curious, why? She goes, well, we got a better offer. I go, oh, you got a better offer, did you?
Big difference.
You have a legal obligation to sell me the property. She goes, I'm not doing it. Too bad. What are you going to do? And I said, okay, we'll see. About 3 weeks later, I get a call from the title company. You recorded this thing, and we need you to sign a release. And I said, sure. We charge a $4,000 release fee. And she's like, what? That's illegal. I go, what is that? And she says, hold on, let me talk to my boss. She calls back, and I talk to the boss, and they say, well, they're not even getting $4,000 out of this closing, because by then the interest had racked up. Where I said, well, how much? I said, fax me over the HUD. I want to see what they're taking home. And it was like $721. I said, we're running a special this week, $721. So they walked away with nothing, and I got my $721. And just because they tried to screw me.
Luxury car store, I have the most I've got is 7,000. Because I love that phone call, Bill. You get that phone call, it's like,
yeah, gotcha. Yeah, usually if someone says they want out, I'll let them out. I'm not gonna, they'll leave them right, but you don't need them, calling up the radio station and or the Consumer Fraud Division or the Better Business Bureau. You don't need that.
But when they got a better offer, though, Bill, come on,
a better offer. I mean, that's not fair. That's just trying to be greedy.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, we've been grinding for 40 minutes, Bill. We can get to some questions, my brother.
All right.
This is
So you're just going to have to ask around and interview people, because if you go to the big ones like First American, they're going to say, no, can't be done. It's illegal. You got to ask the lender's permission, blah, blah, blah. And that's just not true. That's just not true. So it's just a matter of, going to your local RIA or talking to some other investors and say, who will close one of these? In theory, you can close it over your kitchen table. I mean, I've done that, but probably best to get a title search and make sure there's no other liens, and do all your due diligence and then close it through them. So if it all blows up, they'll sue the title company, not you. Or an attorney. Make sure you close to an attorney. They'll always sue the attorney.
Yeah. Well, I want everybody to close with the attorney also, if possible.
Yeah, it's good to close with an attorney who understands this, or even better, like an escrow company or title company with an attorney on board who understands it. Because if you go to big title companies like Stewart, First American, they don't trust people at the bottom making $14 an hour to make executive decisions on what's legal and what's not. So they just tell them blanket rule: illegal, don't do it.
Gotcha.
Go to the smaller outfits, the boutique firms. They have some flexibility.
Now, is there some certain language you can give my viewers, Bill, when they go in, so they don't sound like they're talking gibberish when they're talking to these people?
Sometimes what they understand, I know in my town, they understand the word wrap.
Okay.
You explain it's a wrap, but it's not really a wrap. It's a subject to. A wrap is a slightly different animal. But if you say you do wraps, because that was common in the late 70s, early 80s when interest rates were flying, people were doing wrapping loans and taking advantage of the low rate. So we're just bringing that back. What people who've been in the business that long would know what a wrap is.
Gotcha. Wrap note.
Yeah.
All right, class. You're hearing it from the attorney himself. He's trying to help you find somebody to do this. Bill, I'm just running to a brick wall, brother. I'm going on bigger pockets in these little cities that my clients are around the country.
Right. Hey, say wrap. Do you do a wrap?
We know that if we behave bad, get a punishment. If we behave say at Applebee's or say at an Outback Steakhouse, they have happy hour, right? Let me frame this up for you. Happy hour is between 6 and 7. If you don't show up between that time, you're punished by paying full price for your drinks or appetizers. So the punishment marketing strategy is kind of built in our psyche. So listen, if you're behind in payments, Mr. Seller, how much money do you have to make this deal work? How much can you bring? So yes, ask them. Ask them how much do they have. That's a great question, Randy, because you want them to bring some money to the table too if they're behind. Ralph, Jacksonville, can you open a bank account in the trust name or create a paper trail for future financing? That I do not know. I don't know. How much for coaching? Just email me. I'll give you my fees on an email, my friend. I'll give you my fees on an email. Chris, sir, absolutely. Michael, there is no difference from buying a house subject to than buying it cash or buying it with a loan. There's no difference other than the loan stays in place. So you're going to get a general warranty deed or whatever deed your state uses. Okay, Michael? Nothing is different. So what we have done is mixed up money and houses. Got to unlink them in your mind. You can sell a house, sell it. Owner buyer with that same loan. Okay, rewind your tape. You'll see that in the video. Kurt, so the best properties have no equity. Am I right? I don't want to say no equity. Try to get some equity, 20, 30,000. But the most motivated sellers are going to have the least amount of equity. And I don't want to say the least amount. They're going to have problems with their loan, right? MR6 is a short sale the offset, or what is the fallout of doing a short sale versus subject to for the seller? Huge difference, MRM. Or is that Mr.? Huge difference. The short sale is where the bank takes a discount. The subject to, I'm sorry, and let me stay there. The short sale, the lender is gone. Take a discount, they're gone. On a subject to, the lender stays in place. We just make the loan payments, okay? That's it. That's right. There you go. Seller's gone. Mike, hey, Chris, do you have any contracts recommend to replace some wood underneath contractors? I still love you, though. I love you. Round up. Get your docs below. Use the coupon code Chris if you just want the negotiating audio, or SuB2 if you need the doc packet. If an owner wants near retail, I thought we went over there. Equity. How much do you give them cash? I don't know. I would have to know how much they. Oh, I need to know how much. How much is the arrears, Francisco? I don't know, my friend. Paula, or are these steps correct? Market, find motivated seller. That's right. Michael. Also, how can you be sure the seller doesn't sell their house from under you? Does the deed switch to your name at the county or state record? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Michael, there is no difference from buying a house subject to than buying it cash or buy. The short sale is where the bank takes a discount. The subject market, find motivated seller. That's right. Michael. Also, how can you be sure the seller doesn't sell their house from under you? Does the deed switch to your name at the county or state record? Yes. Denise, what if the seller wants to buy a property within the next 5 years and still have the property on a subject to? Do I disclose that in the addendum? I wouldn't. But what you can do is do a wrap. Just give them a wrap, which that will by default turn into seller financing. If you give them a wrap note, which I'm not covering today, that will cross out the debt. So say they owe 180, you're going to create a wrap note for 180, which will cover that debt. They can take it to a new lender, but that is something that you have to deal with. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we do, my friend. We get a new policy. We add them as an additional insured. Let me show you I got my insurance policy here. I just got a file. I don't know if I had it back there. I should have had it up here. Here's just a file for my owner occupant, right? All my houses have these thick files. So you can see my name's on the front, Chris Haskins. Then on the back, got the seller's name, right? So I got a new policy because what the lender wants a policy. The lender wants a policy in the original borrower's name. Okay. So you have to keep some type of insurance on that lender's on that policy. From my experience, now I've heard other gurus say doesn't matter, but I just don't like people snooping. I don't want to deal with it. So if you keep the policy, put their name on it, boom, you're done. Is the only way pre-foreclosure will cease if you pay the past due balance, or you can just resume the payments? Depends, Roseanne. That's a good question. What happens is if they're too far behind and the lender has actually executed the foreclosure, then you will have to bring up the arrears. But remember in our addendums here, right? It says if they're not scheduled for a foreclosure yet, it says buyer shall start making seller's loan payment starting blank. Okay. Sometimes we buy them. Matter of fact, this house here, I kept it in arrears for two months in arrears for a long time. But then I got tired of getting those letters. But yep, you can keep it in arrears. There's nothing stating that you have to bring it current, and that's going to be in your disclosures. Okay. Excellent question. Excellent question, man. Round up family. You showed up for me. You showed up. Make sure you put in your round up family. You showed up for me. You showed up. Make sure you put in your subscribe. Put your comments in here. Frank, what up, Frank? Did you say you buy a new insurance policy the day of closing and then add the seller to the new policy? We're going to you're talking to him, Ultimate Bargains. You better be there. I'm gonna get you if you don't come, bro. James, looks like you went to Hampton University. I went to Virginia State. Good for you. I did, yeah. Kenny, what if there are multiple owners, like husband and wife? Doesn't matter. Property that I live here was husband and wife. They both have to sign the deed, right? And get them to both sign these disclosures. They both are going to sign the disclosures, okay? So yes, you need to have them both there. Brian Knight. Sorry about that. Brian Knight. Thank you for your love offering, my friend. Do you do subject to an LLC or land trust? Always, always, always put your property in a trust, my friend. We do not buy houses in an LLC or in our names, okay? We always use land trust. Tanya, thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you next month. Thank you. Thank you. What have we got here? Mark, what we got? Mark, just thank you for the audio code. I need the proof of funds. I give those to my inner circle, or we can maybe work out something for you through that. Bay Area, what's going down? What's going down? Ron, Newport News, does husband and wife have to sign subject to? Absolutely. They both have to sign, my friend. They both have to sign. If you got a super chat, we'll do your question immediately. And other than that, we'll get all the questions answered. If you do a super chat, we'll get your questions immediately. Okay, Roundup. What? Kenny, multiple owners. That's right. That's no big deal. That's no big deal. We do them. It's no problem. We got to have the husband and wife show up to closing. They sign all the docs, and then they're gone. But don't forget, all you need is these two at the beginning. Okay. That's right, both of them. Get your questions in. Make sure you put your name and state. The only is I'm trying to think. Okay, well, it all depends, Rosanna, on what they're looking for. For me, it's high stress. High stress, right? They'll be going to, what is it? They'll be going to foreclosure soon. So at the end of the day, it really all depends on what they're looking for. So the people we're looking for in 3 categories when I when I talk to pre-foreclosures, the people I usually deal with, they fall in 3 categories, Miss Smith. First one, they want to dig their heels in, stay as long as they can. They're going to just ride it out, and then they're going to see what the bank's going to do. That's the first. The second person, they want to try to get some money and to get as much money in their pocket before the foreclosure happens. This is the second person. And the third person, to be honest with you, they don't care what happens. Either way, they're just waiting for the bank to let them out. So which one are you? That's exactly what I tell them. 3 people. Try to dig their heels in, stop the foreclosure. You want to stop it, do everything they can to stop it. Because don't forget, Rosanna, we stop the foreclosure too. First person, dig their heels in, stop the foreclosure. Second person, they want to get as much money as they can. They want to get as much money as they can before they move on. Third, they don't care. Let whatever happens, happens. So once they pick, say that the first one, they want to dig their heels in, stop the foreclosure, right? Then we'll do a self-filing bankruptcy. We'll help them file a bankruptcy. And then the second person, if they say, for instance, if they want to get as much money in their pocket as they can, but they may need a little time, we'll still stop the foreclosure with the self-filing bankruptcy. But then that's the one that we want. Those number 2s are what we're looking for. Try to get that money so we can take over the debt and give them some money to move on. Number 2s are what we're looking for. 3s, you can't help them. They're past. They're like, I don't even care. I'm done with this house. AV2VA2. Thank you so much for your love offering. I'll get to your question now. If you got a love offering, I'll get to your question immediately. Do I have to have over $5,000 in capital to close these deals to catch up the mortgage? If you don't have the money, how can you get it? Also, I'm in Chesapeake. Oh man, what's up? You're in Chesapeake. Well, my friend, I need you to keep your money. If you got $5,000, $5,000 will be enough. However, it all depends. What is AV to VA? AV to VA2. My friend, it all depends. It's going to cost you about $300 to $3,500 to buy one of these. Oh man, oops. I can't put that on the screen. It's going to cost you about $3,000 to $4,000 just to buy it because you got to pay your closing costs and the sellers. So, darn, where is that at? Sorry about that, my friend. Did I not put that? Oh, here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. AV to VA2. $5,000. That's enough. If you don't have the money, you need to go to Fund and Grow. Hit me up. I'll give you a link to Fund and Grow. They give you these business lines of credit, and I have like a $500 discount link I can give you. But yeah, coaching, just Chris buys. Email me at chrisbuyshouses@gmail.com, or just comment on any YouTube. Any of my videos has my email address at the end. Good question. Private lenders. This must be serious here. Hold tight. Go ahead, Bert.
Hey, just confirm something real quick. On the address that you sent me for the books, you have not shipped any of those, correct?
No, those 6, they have not been.
Like 15 or 16 of them, something like that?
It should be like 6.
That's when I first done. I opened the Word file. I just wanted to make sure when I opened the Word file, it's showing 12 more at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, those 12 are done. I sent you a new one. Those 12, we don't have to send. Agreement signed. Another seller disclosure. Seller warns that there are no judgments threatening the equity of this property and that there's no bankruptcy pending or contemplated by the current title holder. I don't even want you to be thinking about bankruptcy because that could possibly jeopardize my financing, right? Seller is not confused with any portion of this agreement and is not impaired by any mind-altering substances at the time of signing this document. Round up, you got to have your bankruptcy statement here. Got to have your bankruptcy statement. Oh, and Jesus. You got it down. Your masters. What is it? Ninja Warrior Negotiating Masters. You got to make sure you disclose. I have yet to meet an attorney that will come up with this stuff. However, they will sit your sellers down and explain it all to them. Okay. Sellers and disclosures, 1, 2, 3, 5. You got it. Now you will need your land. I pray to God that you're not buying houses in your name or in your company name. So you will need your trust agreement to put this deed into, so you can get that here or somewhere else. So once they sign off on these disclosures, you get the deeded into your trust. Now you have the power of attorney. Did I put that up? Oh yeah, we got that. You got the power of attorney, so you can negotiate with the bank, with the city taxes. You can literally speak on the seller's behalf anytime. I remember one time I paid a subject to loan off. They mailed me a $2,000 check from the escrow account for taxes and insurance that they had already paid. So I got this $2,000, right? I'm like, man, it's in the seller's name. I took my power of attorney to the bank. They allowed me to cash this check, $2,000, no problem. So you should get the power of attorney. Round up, get your questions in, download your docs. We went over this stuff here. Simple stuff. Call the loan due. Does that mean that they will? Does that mean that the lender will? Think about it. Would you, in this climate, call a loan due merely because the title transferred, if you're getting payments each and every month right on time? You know, I can't answer that for everybody, but for me, I'm good. As long as the money's coming in, I'm good to go. All right, so we know what the due on sale clause is. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Start. All right, we're down here now. The seller understands that should lender choose to call the loan due, buyer and its agents, heirs, partners, employees, and assigns, because remember, we may assign this to somebody else, may not have the resources to refinance the property, nor shall it be buyer's responsibility to secure new financing in the event of any future events. Furthermore, buyer has made no promises to seller that the loans will be assumed or paid off by the buyer and that the loan will still appear on seller's credit report. I want them to know, Roundup, that this will be on your credit. You are selling me the house and it's staying on your credit. I want to be straight up with them. Tell them. Seller hereby agrees to hold buyer and all of their partners and or assigns totally and completely harmless of any fault, liability, or